person. It doesn't matter whatever the ethical question or the situation, whatever the political unbalance, whatever the economical unbalance, whatever the personal reasons, that everywhere these 5 questions arise. The question number 1 is, who am I? That is the question every day, most of time people asking themselves. The second one, why am I here? Third one, where am I going? Fourth one, what am I doing? The fifth one, what is the purpose of me? Out of all the difficulties in the world, the most dangerous thing, having a life without a purpose. Because when you don't have a purpose to live, when you don't know who you are, when you don't know how you became like this, you are a very disappointed person. Focus magazine in UK BBC, Focus magazine, it is a scientific magazine, and they did a survey how this world can end. And they came with 11 reasons. And one is, it can become a nuclear blast. And another one is kind of like from another planet. It can have kind of like energy unbalance, and then our gravity go unbalance, and that will become. And maybe another planet come and hit. And maybe natural disasters, human errors, there are and nuclear situations, and kind of like biochemical animals. And so they came with 11 reasons. And the last one, the most dangerous one they mentioned, the human unsatisfaction can destroy the world. Human unsatisfaction can destroy the world. So when you don't have a purpose, you're not going to become a satisfied person. So then it is very important yourself as a person, for you have to uplift your life with the purpose. In generally, before you go to spiritual life, in this ordinary life, as an ordinary person, when you become successful, that success will lead you to spiritual development. If you cannot become a successful as an ordinary person, you cannot find the success in your spiritual life. One way, your spirituality means the way you maintain your physical and material. So, if you fail to properly maintain this physical and material, what will happen? In the ground level, you become an unhappy person. So then every day you have to look. Are you recognize your purpose? Are you know what you're doing? Are you know where you're going? Are you know what is the result going to come to your life? Have you ever thought how other people are going to affect because of your activities? So if you able to recognize that, that will naturally uplift your spiritual life. So when we come to purpose, without the purpose when you live, even you don't see, it's going to develop kind of like unbalance around other people. So purpose, to get into a purpose, what is the important thing? Why you have to have a purpose? In day-to-day life, if you can eat, if you can sleep, if you can maintain your life the way you want, what is the point that you should have a purpose or not? The very meaning of having a purpose, your life day by day keep growing inside you. Even though you don't see, there are mental formation from head to toes in your body. That mental formations always nourish your physical body. And that mental formation, your thoughts always nourish your environment. So when you don't have a purpose, what will happen? Your body naturally become open to negativity. Your physical body naturally open to negativity. When you have a negative mind, when you have a negative environment, that negativity always lead to the fear. That fear always invite all other unnecessary difficulties to your life. The human being is a very social being. It cannot exist itself. That's why even the Neil Armstrong went to the moon and he came back. Why? Because no one there. You need people. We are very social beings. But the thing is this, whatever your thoughts can affect to other people. And maybe you have no idea how it can happen. But whatever the mindset that you have, it always create an environment according to that. There was a person and he every day jogging. So one day he thought in New York, one day he thought he want to go for a walk. And that day, that is the first time he went to that park. So all over the world, there are very famous places for gangsters, for pickpocket, smugglers. So even though it is not in the news, New York Central Park is a very famous place for smugglers, thief. So this person and heard this news, but still he want to go there. So with the fear inside him, he start to walk. When he is walking, in the middle of the park, it's kind of like a little dark area and trees around, and he couldn't find people that much. He heard somebody coming behind him. So he was so afraid, and he started to walk a little bit fast. His heartbeat, becoming higher, and then, but still he knew the other person also start to, coming fast. And then he was a little bit nervous, and he start to walk, as far that fast as he can. But other person also starts to go behind him, and he knew, that day something going to happen. And then he knew that the person come behind him and just passed. When he passed, he remembered his wallet, and he just put his hand to his pocket and he couldn't find it. He knew this person took his wallet. And then he started to run behind that person and hold his neck and told, "Give the wallet." And that person gave the wallet. He took it and put his in pocket, and he was so happy. That is the first time in his life he did something, like that. And he able to manage the situation without helping anybody, and he thought, "Oh, today I have a news. I can go home and tell my son what I did." So he went home right away. And then he told to his son, and the wife was preparing the dinner, and he was telling his son, "You know what happened today? Somebody took my pocket and I able to get it back." And then the wife heard that and told, "I was ready to call you, you forget your wallet here. This is your wallet." And then he was shocked and took the wallet and checked. Then he found the identity and he called Mr. Smith and somebody else. He was so afraid. And he found the address and went back to the guy and asked, "You remember today that you went to Central Park?" "Yes." "You walking and then I also was there." "You remember?" "Yes." "Then I asked your wallet?" "Yes." "Then you gave the wallet." "Why you gave the wallet?" "Because then that person told, because I thought you are a thief." So when the people's two mentality come together, it creates a world that's kind of like the same. So at home yourself, when you have a mindset regarding some situation, maybe you have no idea that situation can create the same kind of mentality in your family members. And even the friends the same. Even the whole country, the people the same. And when it comes to the world, the humanity, the same. So then it is very important for us to ourselves see what kind of thoughts that we have inside us. Because when you have a purpose, that purpose uplift your consciousness and that will develop your awareness. Why? Because you are always looking for the purpose. When you are become purposeless person, that invite the fear, unsatisfactory nature, that create the kind of situation in the family. And everybody experience the same. So that is why living and having a purposeful life is very important. So when you have a purpose, once you find the purpose, if you cannot find the purpose in your life, so what you should do? And some people always complaining, how I can find the purpose? I cannot recognize my purpose, why I am here, what I should do. Remember this very carefully. If you cannot find the purpose, if you don't know what to do in your life, do the work that whatever you do, using the maximum effort and the strength that you have. When you don't have a purpose, do whatever the work that you do. It doesn't matter whatever the situation you go through. If there is a work that you have to do it with your maximum strength and effort. One time, Martin Luther King told, in case if you fall into the road and there is nothing to do, you have to sweep the road. How you should do? Do it like Michelangelo doing painting. Sweep the road like Beethoven composing music. Sweep the road like like Shakespeare writing a poem. Then above the heaven, all the angels will look and say, oh, here, the world greatest sweeper. So when you cannot find the purpose what you should do, whatever the things that you do with the maximum effort. And then what will happen? You will get the best out of it. When you get the best out of it, that satisfaction will clear your mind to show which way you should go. The problem within us, so whatever the things that we have to perform or to do, we don't do it properly. Without doing our activities, our responsibilities properly, if you try to find just the purpose, maybe you will miss it. So then always remember, the having a purpose is the most important foundation for a spiritual development. So even if you look at the Buddha's life, as the Prince Siddhartha, thousand years, he came through this journey because he had a purpose. Just not only the purpose, he had the purpose, even he ready to give his life. That's why he became successful. Maybe you have reasons to live. Maybe you have many reasons and purpose to live your life. But it is very difficult for you to have a purpose and reason to give up your life. When you have a purpose to give up your life, that is where you become successful. Because why? You were even ready to die for that purpose. And as all of you know, and the day that the Prince Siddhartha attained to the Buddhahood, that as the Vesak full moon day, he sat under the Bodhi tree with the determination. What is the determination that he had? Even I die without attaining to the Buddhahood, I am not going to give up this. See? Maybe you have many purpose in your life, but what will happen? When the situation change, you change your purpose. So then the first lesson today, remember this. Don't be a reactive person, be a proactive person. Don't be a reactive person, be a proactive person. Why? Because the reactive person already sentimental, settled down inside. You already have habits to react to that. And you're going to be the same. And when you becoming again and again and again, you're going to be the same person. Look from the childhood to now. How many things you keep repeating? You cannot give up. It's kind of like you became a prisoner to that activities. It doesn't matter even the good or the bad. But when you become a proactive person, what is the change happening inside you? The change happening is the proactive person always react according to the necessary conditions, things in that moment. What is the difference with the reactive person? The reactive person always react the same. And it's kind of like a remote control. And other people know how to push the button to on off. And to make angry, they know which button to press. Make you happy, they know how to, press the buttons, and keep you silent, quiet, they know how to, where to press that buttons, Why? Because you are so programmed, already sentimental, set up inside. Everybody can read it, everybody knows that. that's why sometimes in the family you say, don't tell it to your father. Why? Because then he gets so mad. Don't tell it to your mother. Why? Because she will be so upset. How you know that? Because you know through this kind of information, she going to be unhappy. You know according to this kind of information, he going to become unhappy. So then remember, always be a proactive person. The proactive person, wherever he goes, she takes her own environment. And she not always depending from this other people condition or the environment. So the reactive person always, if the weather is hot, and then he postpone things. If the rain, then he postpone things. Early, late night, hungry, poor. So when this kind of conditions and situations come, that person always depending from that cannot become a successful person. But the proactive person not like that. So whatever the situation comes, according to that situation, he can maintain, he can change, he become flexible. So that is the important. And when you become a proactive person, and it will develop your life, and it develop your consciousness to become a better person, and you become a skillful person. And if you become a skillful person, that is the very basic quality that you should have to have this samsaric journey. Why? Because we don't know what kind of situation is going to happen tomorrow. Maybe your education, maybe your physical strength, maybe that all your the economy or the money that you, wealth that you have, maybe your social the health that you have not going to work for tomorrow. But one thing in this samsaric journey going to help for you, that your profitable skills. We call it kusala. How this word came? The kusala. In the ancient time there was a grass called kush. When the student come to the teacher and the teacher stay with the student stay with the teacher and study everything, learn everything and become a skillful person, and when the teacher wanna send the student back, and he tell to the student, go and bring me a grass with the kush grass. The nature of the kush, this, if you hold it in a wrong way, it's going to hurt you, and it's going to cut your hands. And you have to be very careful. You have to be very gentle and you have to be very mindful to take the grass uproot. And once you have it, and come and when you give to the teacher, if you give it in a wrong way, it can hurt to the teacher. It can bleed the teacher's hand. So then when you give to the teacher, you have to be very careful. So this is the nature of the kush. The kushala came out of that word. The kushala means the whatever the things you do with the physical and mental and verbal action, it should not hurt you. And not only that, it should not hurt other people also. If you are able to maintain your bodily, verbally and mentally action, that become a profitable skill to you. So then you have to be aware yourself. How many things in day-to-day life you develop that not hurt you, And sometimes your own habits, your own actions hurt you. And sometimes it hurt others also. So then in this samsaric journey, are you develop any kind of profitable skills that can keep within you as a habit? Thinking this will work for you, work for me. So this is a time period, moment that you have to find something to your samsaric journey and hold it to you. So what are the things that you can get like that? What kind of profitable skills that you can hold? The very first thing that you have to have, whatever the things that you do, remember to do with the spiritual background. It doesn't matter whatever the religion that you have, you follow, always remember whatever the things that you do in your life, personal or social or economical or the political or whatever the decisions that you take, remember to have some kind of spirituality behind it. If you have that, your life going to become successful, happy life. Not only that, it will provide kind of like a happiness to other people, and that become a profitable skill to yourself. So when it comes to Buddhism, the Buddha always mentioned this through many kind of sutras. As a topic today, this Atta Parahita Patipanna Sutta, I mentioned to our Dhamma Hamduru. This comes Anguttara Nikaya, chapter 5, second section. Around this sutra, there are some other few sutras. One is called Atta Patipanna Sutta, Paratta Patipanna Sutta, Na Atta Paratta Patipanna Sutta, Atta Paratta Patipanna Sutta. Very meaning of this sutta is, so whatever you do, it should bring success to yourself and success to others. That is what the meaning of this sutta. Atta Paratta Patipanna Sutta. Whatever that you do, it should bring the happiness to yourself and to others. So there are 5 things that Buddha mentioned as fundamental human qualities you have to develop in your life. It doesn't matter whatever the situation, whatever the background, whatever the difficulties that you have, through these 5 qualities, if you uplift your life going to become powerful life. That's why in Pali it's called Bala. Bala means the strength that you develop inside you. Energy that you develop inside you. That energy that you cannot buy through these energy drinks. You cannot buy through this any kind of the pharmaceutical product. This energy energize yourself, this entire humanity. Not only that, from here to in this samsaric journey, it's going to protect your life. Then you should develop it as a very good multivitamin to your life. It is a kind of like a spiritual multivitamin to you. When you don't have this spiritual background, you know what happened? It doesn't matter how strong you are, how big you are. So whatever the things come out of you, not going to become complete. So according to the sutta, we have many kind of examples, but I'll give some few examples from the world history. One is Michelangelo, and no one still can compare to his painting. And one time, Leonardo da Vinci called all the artists and gave a challenge. If you go to Vatican, 16th chapel, all over the world. It is very famous. And then Leonardo da Vinci and challenged, if anybody can do the 3D painting, take it. Only one artist came forward and took it. That artist, Michelangelo. And he did the painting. Still, if you go, there is no that any art can match that. Once he finished that 16 chapel ceiling, and Leonardo da Vinci came and told Michelangelo, you killed the art. Then he asked why? Because here is the art beginning and here is the art end. There is no one can compare and do any kind of art similar to this. This is complete. And when the 16th chapel opened to people, look, this is it's a true story. It's nothing to do with the Buddhism. It's in Vatican. When the 16th chapel opened to the public, the whole city came that day. Everyone will start to look the 16th chapel arts. And everyone keep talking. But no one tell anything about Michelangelo. He was so disappointed. What he did, at night, he went to the chapel. And there's Pieta, Mother Mary holding Jesus. And after crucified. And he went and he made his signature. I did this, Michelangelo of Florence. See, even in the Mother Mary's chest, he put his name. You know why he did that? Because he didn't have a spiritual background. If you go to Samadhi statue, you don't know who did that. If you go to Aukana statue, know any single word about the person who did that. That is the beauty when you do with something spiritual background. Otherwise, it always leaves something. Another person, Beethoven, and there is no that musician can compose that the music to his level. In even 1977, the voyage, they send a shuttle to this universe with this earth. They collect certain kind of music. And in that voyage, and they took the Beethoven's 5th symphony. Why? Because in case somewhere in this universe, if any other living beings find this, and they will recognize this came from the earth. It's kind of like giving an address to the earth. That much. That is kind of like the best in the world. And other thing is, when the Sony and the Philips come to companies, when they made the CD, you remember early ages like we had the tape recorder, 45 minute, 90 minute, cassette recorder. And when it comes to CD, they had a discussion to make it kind of like a universal model, and there was discussion to make it to 60 minutes. And then they came and asked the Beethoven's 9th symphony, how long it is. It is 70 minutes longer. And then another 4 minutes at 74 minutes. And then the Sony and the Philips company decide to make this CD to 80 minutes. So that is a very important person. But he was looking for appreciation. And one time he wrote to his friend, he was the king, Lichnowsky, and telling Lichnowsky, you became a king by mistake. I am Beethoven because I am Beethoven who I am. And he was kind of like so egocentric person. Even though he made that kind of production to the world and give a beauty to the music world, he was so unhappy person and he killed himself. See that unhappy, even you climb to the top of the success, you can become unhappy when you don't have a spiritual background. Even though our great musician, Mohideen Beg, not that kind of level, success he achieved like Beethoven, but when he started to sing the Buddhist songs, one day at night, the most of Muslim people came and, and start to talk to him and tell him, you have to stop singing these Buddhist devotional songs. Don't do this. If you're going to do this, we won't allow you to live here. He was living in the Maligaon. But it's kind of like that death and life in between that. But still, he didn't give up. He started to sing many beautiful songs, and still no one can, And in Sri Lanka, without Mohideen Beg Mahatma, that Buddhist songs, there's no any religious festivals. That kind of beauty gave to this, our culture. Even that to get that part. You know how it happened? Look, even the Beethoven reached to the highest and he killed himself. Even the Mohideen Beg, death came in front of him, even he didn't give up it and keep doing what he did. The very reason is the spiritual background. That is the beauty, the strength that you can have when you have a spiritual background. So then always you have to look that whatever the thing that you do in your personal life, remember, add some spirituality to that. Don't just keep doing it because of other people. Don't just keep doing it because of other people like it or you are happy. Don't just keep it because of that everybody pay money. Anthony Bourdain, recently, everyone knows, and even the CNN, a lot of people say, oh, we had a dream to travel like him. Oh, we had a dream and we had a wish. Oh, if we can become like him. See what happened to him. Even though he became so much famous and successful person, you know what is the thing that he was missing? Little spirituality to his life. So then remember yourself that whatever the things that in day-to-day life that you do, have a little spirituality. And even for your children, maybe you can give money and you can give a lot of facilities, but still remember to add little spirituality to their life as a gift to take with them. Why? Because that little spirituality grow inside them like Japanese bamboo tree. The nature of the Japanese bamboo tree, 5 years, when you plant the root, 5 years you have to treat. Every day putting water, soil, and you have to take care. Nothing come out of the ground. 5 years. But after 5 years, once it come up from the ground, within 6 weeks, it goes 70 feet high. That is the beauty when you add little spirituality to your life. You know that ship and the flights, when they take a turn, they cannot take just, like a 90-degree turn. They have to take 1 inch turn to take a 90-degree turn within a longer term distance. So that kind of power you can have when you add little spirituality to your life. So when it comes to spiritual life, how you can add it? The very first thing here in this Sutta Buddha mentioned as the strength, as the quality, as power. The very first thing that you have to have, discipline life. Discipline life. There is no person became successful without discipline. So the self-discipline is the most difficult thing. We are looking for happiness, success, development, but it doesn't matter whatever the lifestyle that you have. If you want to become a successful person, very first quality that you have to develop, have a self-discipline life. And if you can have that self-discipline life with the spiritual background, your life becomes so beautiful. So, when it comes to discipline life, a lot of people say, I don't do this, I don't do that. Maybe that doesn't work to life. Why? Because this human life, you have to use this life. This human life not to neutral yourself. Just neutral yourself is not going to end this. Even before the Buddha, people was trying to keep closing their eyes, closing their ears, without walking in anywhere. They had that kind of neutral kind of discipline in life, but it didn't develop anything. You have to become an active person. At the same time, you have to become a disciplined person, and at the same time, you have to develop the spirituality. So how you can do this everything together? You have to become an active person, because you cannot become just a neutral person. And you have to become a successful person. And you cannot become kind of like do things without the spirituality. So then, you have, when whatever the things that you do, remember to look to yourself. Through that all your bodily, verbally and mentally action, you have to look, are you accumulating or are you contributing? With your bodily, verbally and mentally action, always remember, it doesn't matter whatever the age, whatever the action you do, are you accumulating, are you contributing? What is accumulating means, when you become egocentric person, thinking just yourself, you always try to accumulate thinking, oh me, self-centered life. When you have a self-centered life, that can give a disturb to everyone around you. So then, when you have a purpose, you want to become a rich person, you want to become a successful person, you want to become a happy person. So at the same time, you have to have a desire, purpose in your life. How you can bring this all together? Because sometimes when we go to school, all these young children ask, oh, Buddhism, it always says, don't have a purpose. No. Don't hold into things. No. Don't follow things. Don't have hopes. Just live. No, Buddhism never said that. Buddha is the one who had the purpose went through all the difficulties and reached to the Buddha. That is the highest in this human world, as a human that you can reach. Without a purpose, how you can go there? In Buddhism, never say that the purpose or the desire is wrong. It's always say that attachment is the wrong thing. If you cannot let go, you become an unsuccessful person. So then how you can have a desire and at the same time it is for contribution? This is an example. If anybody want to become a doctor, you can become a doctor with the self-centered idea. So if I become a doctor, I can have a good life for me. So that the base is you. And I can have a good house. I can live somewhere in a very nice area. I can have this car. I can have this facility. So the base is self. And you can become a doctor. And your idea, if I become a doctor, I can do service to other people. And there are a lot of people who need the service. And I can educate them. I can teach them how to live a healthy life. So then you become a doctor, and at the same time that is your purpose, but your main purpose is contribution. So that means you try to give a service to others. As a result of that, what will happen? Naturally, when you become a doctor, your ordinary life become a better life. So otherwise, rather than being self-centered person, if you have an idea to contribute your life to others, and that way your life becomes a spiritual life, and at the same time you contributing something, and at the same time you become a successful person, and when you complete this all, you become a happy person. But to get into this any profession or any path, the very first thing that you have to have a strong disciplinary path. So yourself then remember, when you have discipline in life, always that discipline should focus your life, direct your life to your purpose. So the first you have to have a purpose, and then you have to have a disciplined life to take you to that purpose. And if you maintain your life like that way, your life becomes more clear for you. You know what you do, you know what you say, you know what you think. When you become clear with your own bodily, verbally and mentally actions, your life becomes more successful inside you. Why? The very purpose of the Buddha's teaching is self-realization, giving you understanding. For that 5 questions, who am I? So if you are mind clear, if you know what you did, if you know what you doing, that clarity will clear your mind. If you don't know what you do, if you don't know that what you say, if you don't know that what happening in your life, it block your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. And then you become kind of like a blind person and you cannot see around you. But always remember that whatever the things that you do, it should develop the clarity to inside you and outside. In the ancient time it called Deheli Deepanyaya. Deheli Deepanyaya means when you put a lamp in your home at night, so you put the lamp in the main entrance, in front of your house. So when you put it in front of the house, in the main entrance, you know what is happening? It gives light to inside the house, it gives light to the outside the house. It's called Devi Deepanyaya. So when you do something, it should clear inside you, it should clear outside. So if you develop that clarity, you will never make any mistake with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. It called vipalas. If you make a mistake, it called vipalas. That means when there is no clarity inside you, if you have a doubt, with that doubt, when you see things, when you hear things, you cannot see it very clearly. So you have to be very careful in your life. The most of time in day to day that we think our life happening because of whatever the other people does to us. No. Things can happen to everybody. The people can do things to everyone. But remember, not the other people disturb you. You have to be very clear. Try to understand this very clearly. Maybe you think sometimes, oh, this person did to me, that person said this to me, it because of that, my life became like that. So be very clear. No anyone can do anything to you. Then how things happen? When other people become miserable, how our life go miserable? This is what will happen. When other people do something, out of that action you get disturbed. With that disturbed mind, when you react, it can destroy your life. So not what other person did to you. So whatever you did as a reaction is the result of your life. So in case that whatever the things other person do to you or say to you, if you are able to maintain your reaction properly, knowingly, and that person cannot do anything to you. No? Somebody can come and try to kill you, maybe your reaction is different. But as you know, there are people came to Buddha and tried to kill him also. But look, the same action. But how the reaction become different? The way you think. So don't try to go behind the world and don't try to point out and don't try to, add things to your complaining list. That is not the success. Always when something happens, learn to look inside you and see how you react to that. When it becomes a reaction, remember you are in samsara. But if you are able to respond to any action, you become closer to Nibbana. So how the clarity, how this fundamental, these human qualities bring the clarity to your reactions like this. This is what happens. When we come to this world, we bring something. The nature of our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. That is what we bring. So with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind, it always follows the perceptions. Eye always follows the colors, the pictures. Ear always follows the sound. Nose always follows the aromas, smell. Tongue always follows the taste. Body always follows the sensitivity. And the mind always follows the thoughts. The body follows the sensation. So when the eye contact with the light or the pictures or the colors, listen this very carefully. When the eye you have and you bring it to this world as a result of your previous life. And when you come here and when you open your eyes, as a result of this world, you have all the colors and pictures. So when your eye contact with these pictures or the colors, that contact creates a sensitivity. When the ear and the sound come together, there is a sensitivity. If you are able sensitivity, you can respond to it. You know what is happening from childhood to now? This eye, ears, tongue, body, mind, nose, tongue, body, mind, this everything settle down with the perceptions. It's already set up how to react. It's called emotions. From where the emotions come? Emotions come as a result of habit that you have to respond to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. That is your emotions. So, if you become emotions, that means what? You not respond, you react. You already programmed. So, don't become an emotional person. Be a sensitive person. When you become sensitive, that sensitivity start to show you how these things happen. To have that sensitivity, you have to have sati. Sati is a Pali word. The sati is awareness. Awareness, in a very simple way, wherever you are, be there. That is awareness. Wherever you are, be there. If you are able to be there, then what will happen? Your mind knows where you are. And that will help you to have the sensitivity. When you have the sensitivity, it not uplift your emotions. Why? The sensitivity always show you events again and again and again and change. If you are able to see the change, mind never come to solid conscious idea. Remember that. We always carry conscious, that solid conscious idea. It is like this, it is like this, it should be like this. How that solid conscious idea came to us? Because in that sensitivity level, we don't see the change. That is why we settle down our consciousness with that action to respond, oh, it should be like this. So that response become a habit. What will happen? With this body, even the body disappear, that habit you carry with you. Even when you become again, when you come again, it doesn't matter you become an animal, you become a human, you become a deity, you come with that all the mental formations that you develop inside you, you already programmed person. So then you have to look back yourself and see, so far in your life, are you became a happy person? Are you became a successful person? Are you became any kind of a developed person inside you? If not, you have to erase that all the programs that you already have there and put something new. If you develop some good inside you, if it is make you happy, comfortable, it develop you person, then what you should do? Keep going. Keep doing it. So the first quality that Buddha mentioned, have a spiritual life that will uplift your life and as well as other people's life, and not just the spiritual life itself have to have the base with the outside world, it should develop your inner world. That's why it's called Atta Parahita. That you also have to develop yourself. And maybe you can give a better service to others and you are the same person. No, that doesn't work. That is not the development. When we give service to other people at the same time, our life also should become better. So then yourself, the very first quality that you have to have, sila, discipline life with the spiritual base. And the second one is samadhi. Samadhi means the awareness, sati, mindfulness. So wherever you are, be there. And whatever you do, be conscious about it. Knowingly do it. So when you become conscious about the action, you know what is happening inside you? You drop your thinking mind. If you continue your thinking mind, you cannot develop your awareness. Why? Your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. These all senses work at only one time. These two things cannot work together at one time. Only one work only one time. And then it's changed. So then if the mind keep thinking, you cannot develop the awareness. Why? Because the mind involved in something. So then what you have to do? You have to drop the thinking pattern, just be aware whatever you do or whatever you say or wherever you are. That will help you to have a clear mind. When you have a clear mind, it uplifts to see the sensitivity. When you see the sensitivity, you not settle down with the solid consciousness. You always see things change. And when you are able to see everything change all the time, you are not going to hold it to it. Why? Because you experience it. If you are able to recognize that everything always changes, you are not going to claim anything as yours. And you are not going to hold it to anything. And then other thing is that you are not going to repeat things again and again and again the same way. That is what called panya. That is the wisdom that you have to develop. When you are able to see things change again and again and again, you are not going to claim that anything as yours. You drop the self-centered mind. When you drop the self-centered mind deeper inside you, you drop the collective nature. The whole world today try to let go things. But why they fail? Because they are not able to see the change. Without seeing the change, you cannot let go. Thinking, oh, I exist, you cannot let go what happened to you. But the thing is, when you recognize you changing, all the events always changing, naturally your mind drop the collective nature. When you come to the deeper conscious level, deeper awareness to that level, your mind not going to hold anything in any moment. When you don't have collective nature, there is nothing can compare or nothing come against it. There is nothing to resist. I like this, I don't like this, it should happen this, it should happen that. There is nothing come against. When there is nothing come against, there is no anger. So people try to, whole world, people try to stay that without getting angry. And they do many kind of loving kindness things and try to do many kind of activities not to get angry. But most of the time people fail. Why? Because the anger or the holding nature is not the action. Remember this very carefully. It doesn't matter whatever the book you say, whatever the book you read, whatever the things you hear, remember this very carefully. It is very simple, plain, and nothing added, no any hidden ingredients. It is very simple truth. If anybody look with the clear mind, you will see the greed or the anger or this holding nature is not an action. That is where whole world goes wrong. It is not the action. Then what? It is a reaction. So I will not get angry. I will not get angry. Keep thinking about thinking. You think, you get angry. It is a reaction. You can get angry. Then you become angry. You become greedy. How you become? Because behind that there is something. If you think, oh, I exist, this is me, there is no way that you can stay without getting angry. Somewhere you get angry. Somewhere you get unhappy. There is no way that you can let go. Something you are going to hold. So then, remember, it is a reaction. So, if you are able to see how it happened, that is where it is going to disappear. So then you need to come to subtle level, mindfulness level, awareness level, what you see the change. Why? Because you are not reacting, you become sensitive person. In that sensitive level, you see how things again and again and changing and happening. And that is where you are not going to have a solid conscious mind. And when you have that knowledge, you are not going to hold it to the events. You are not going to hold it to things, thinking, oh, it should be like this, it should be like this. So that awareness will drop your anger, drop your memory. Why? Because when there is nothing to hold, when there is nothing to hold, there is nothing to let go. When you see everything change all the time, you are not going to hold it. When you not hold, there is nothing to let go. When there is nothing to let go, mind itself become free. Nothing to hold, nothing to let go. Just think, then where the mind exists. Mind exists in that very moment wherever you are. In that level, you have the pure human consciousness to recognize and uplift this ordinary lifestyle. Why? Because the ordinary life is always reacting. You become respond. When you are at the respond level, you kind of like become a high mental power that develop a spiritual being, or maybe you attain to kind of a spiritual, high mental spiritual result. So in that level, you are not going to become a casual person. You are not going to do casual things. You know, where be casual, that means what? Be ordinary. That's why most of life end with casualties. Why? Because they follow the casual path. But in the spiritual path, you are not going to become casual. So your life not going to end being casualties in any level. So when you come to that level, then naturally what is happening? What you experience, you're going to share it with others. So what you experience naturally going to nourish other people. So when in the first level, you have a very disciplined life, and that disciplined life will clear your mind to have a very conscious life, which we call samadhi. And then that conscious life will tell you and how things happening, which we call prajna. And when you come to that level, you are not anymore going to respond to this ordinary life. So in the spiritual path, when you develop your life to the highest, where you can keep your mind. When you develop your life to your spiritual path, to the highest, where you keep your mind. you become more conscious with your own habits. Even in the bhavana, in the meditation, that is the most difficult part that you have to develop when you develop the sati. You have to be disciplined with your own habitual actions. Not about others. Not about other people, so whatever the things they do. And your experience more enough, your lifetime more enough, you cannot change other people. You cannot change. You can help. Buddha never changed the people. What the Buddha did? Buddha helped people. So, we all have a purpose. With that purpose we come to this world. So yourself, you cannot change other people's purpose. Why? Because already with that purpose they came here. So then what you can do? You can help them. How you can help them? The first, before you help others, you have to have something. What you have, you can share it with others. So what you don't have, you cannot give to them. So then always remember, whatever the situation come to your life, try to uplift your life. There is a true story. It happened in France. One person, he was blind and he came by train and then he changed the train to another train. And he sat there, then there was another lady in front of him. So he started to pick some words and through the sound came to him and he knew she's a young lady. So he started to talk to that person. And they had a good conversation about how are the people, the weather and the children crying and the other people, how other people behave, what kind of the situation. They had a very good conversation, even 1 hour. So after 1 hour, this lady and went out. So then another person came and sat there. So this blind person asked, "Did you see that lady pass by here?" Yeah, I saw. So she sat here and we used to talk. And then this blind person asked, how she looked like. So remember this very carefully. So then he told, oh, she looked young, this beautiful, this kind of looking, you know. So then this blind person told, you know, that girl is blind. This blind person came. That girl is blind. This person was shocked. He was a psychologist and he was so into this and asked, how you know that? Just go and see. And then he just looked outside the train and saw that lady to kiss her white train and start to go like this. And then this person was shocked and said, how this blind person knew she's blind? And it is not the point here. This psychologist finally came to a conclusion. Even you both are blind. Remember this. Even you both are blind. If the people try to not to depend on other person but to uplift other person like you can see, both can see. Not to depending from other people, if you try to uplift other person, appreciate other person, the both can uplift their life. So when we come to a family, interpersonal human conflict, interpersonal human relationship, when you are unhappy, the most of time, what we does? We want to see other people also become unhappy. When you are unhappy, if you see your husband, wife, children happy and do something nice, you get so mad. When you are in pain, if other people do something nice, you get so angry. And at the same time, when other person is angry, when other person in pain, and sometimes we validate it and we try to put more energy to that anger, that sadness, that worry, and try to validate that worry. That is a very wrong thing that all over the world most of people do. Thinking to be nice to other person. But that is the worst that we do to ourselves. It's kind of like we validate our own stupidity. It's everywhere the same. So then remember yourself, whatever the situation comes, if the person become unbalanced, unhappy, sad, worried, try to take that person out of that situation and uplift his consciousness. And that is where you can become a better person, and at the same time you can give a better life to other person. So in this path, if you are able to develop your life step by step, in this path, in this spiritual path, adding little by little spirituality to yourself, you know that inside itself it nourishes your life, and at the same time it gives a better service to other people. It nourishes other people. That is the main thing every day you have to practice. The most of time, the major things we take as minor, and a lot of minor things we take as major. Now in this human life, always remember, keep the major things as major, in the minor things as minor. How you can divide things major and minor? Whatever the profitable skills develop in you, that is the major thing in your life. If something destroys your peace, your success, your happiness, your profitable skills, that is the minor things in your life. So then whatever you do in day-to-day life, always remember with your bodily, verbally and mentally action, if it is bring something good to yourself and give good to other people, that is something major that you have to keep doing. So put more time to that and develop it again and again and again. And whatever the hurt yourself and whatever the things give pain to other people, it is kind of like a minor things in your life. So minimize that kind of action day by day. Try to take away your life from it and develop some kind of good qualities inside you. So that way, little by little you will see your life become more beautiful and success and happy life yourself. So that is the main purpose in this whole practice. You spend your time, energy, the life, everything that you have, everything is all the spiritual development. But at the same time, as a person, personally, if your life not developed, remember this everything kind of like a waste. So at the same time, you have to, when you, as elders, when you develop it, and you have to protect your younger generation, your next generation, and you have to share it. Whatever the difficulties you went through, remember this, whatever the difficulties you went through, whatever the pain you went through, whatever the hardship that you went through, never put your young generation to that level. So that kind of like you destroying yourself. There were 10 spiritual masters had a spiritual journey. And on the way, they had many difficulties, and they put a spiritual identity to that all the difficulties. And then what happened suddenly, one day, there's a lot of lightning, thunder around them. So they stopped in one place, in that house around that always thunder, they cannot move out of the house. And then they decide, they give a spiritual analysis and they decide, there is someone within us unlucky. So there is somebody, this lightning trying to take that person. So, behalf of this all, our spiritual path, that person should sacrifice. That is the agreement came. And then, what they decide? In front of the house, like 100 feet away, 100 yards away, there was a tree. So this all the 10 decide, one by one person go to the tree and come back. If the unlucky person go to the tree, lightning will hit. So that is the agreement. So in ordinary life, always the things divide and things start according to the gender, and that's why it's called ladies first. But in the spiritual life, not like that. It's always the elders first, seniors first. So then the first senior went to the tree, came back. Nothing happened. He was so happy. So the second one went and nothing happened. And he was so happy. Third person went, fourth person went, fifth, sixth. Now 8, 9, 10, 3 people. And they were kind of like afraid. Why? Because somebody going to get hit. And then 9th person ran and came back and he was survived. He was so happy. The 10th one, the beginner of the path, junior person. And he didn't have any spiritual development. And everybody started pointing, you did something wrong, you are the person. So, but this person started to cry and asking help. All of you are seniors, please help me. But everybody point out, no, this is the agreement. You have to go. You have to run to the tree. And this person crying, and please help me, I don't want to do this because I'm going to die. Like that. But somehow what happened? These 9 all came together, pushed this person out of the house, and he has no choice. He ran to the house, lightning hit the house, and died all 9. And sometimes you survive because of the smallest. Sometimes you survive because of the beginners. Sometimes you survive because of the somebody just start the path. So as seniors, as elders, you always have to protect this path and protect this everything and give to our next generation without pushing them to hard time, without pushing them to difficulties, without pushing them to many kind of calamities. Because your responsibility is the protecting. That is what tests your spirituality. So that is the very core essence of this Theravada Buddhism. All the elders, monks, protect the young. And all the elders protect the beginners. All the seniors always take care of the beginners. So then yourself, in the spiritual life, if you know something, you are kind of like a senior. If somebody don't know something, is kind of like a beginner. So then, when other people do things, do mistake, do wrong things, don't reject them. Don't try to go away from them. Try to help them. That will test your spirituality. When newcomers come to this place, you can judge many ways, but maybe they don't know anything about this. Are you able to have a little compassion about them? Are you able to share your thoughts about these things and help them a little bit? So that will test your spirituality. And that will protect you, and not only you, that will protect your next generation also. And that is how this goes hand to hand, hand to hand, hand to hand, without any leader, without any command. So then remember, in this spiritual path, there is triple gem, Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. So you are a part of that gem. So you have a kind of like a value inside you. So if you are in the path, that value becomes more. So then bring that value to your life and share that value with others. So yourself have a very good foundation with the discipline. And with your life, with that discipline, have a very clear understanding and clear mind. And recognize how things happening as they are. Don't try to have a settled down mind or sentimental mind, solid consciousness, or thinking about egocentric life. Always remember, this everything come out of nothing. So then, one day, if this everything become nothing. So in between this, how we maintain everything, it's going to define who you are. That who you are going to go in this samsaric journey. So wherever you go, you have to go by yourself. So whatever the skills that you have, whatever the profitable or unprofitable skills or the habits that you have, is going to become your friends, your brothers and sisters, it's going to become your family. So then, have a good profitable skills around you, and whatever the good things that you have, share it with others, and have a very comfortable life yourself, and give comfort to other people. And then one day, as the Sunita, Sobhaka, Angulmala, Vanchumala met the Buddha, and the Buddha found out them and came to them and showed them the path, like wherever you are, when the day comes, the Buddha will come to you, or yourself you will able to find that path very clearly and get your liberation to your hand and attain the supreme bliss of the Nibbana. So that should be your determination. With that determination, that should be your life path. With that life path, that should be your lifestyle. With that lifestyle, that should be your passion. With that passion, that should be your life. When the day comes to you to start your day like that passion, remember, this world always going to become a beautiful place. But at the same time, if you hurt yourself, if you become disappointed yourself, if you have a purposeless life yourself, that is the most dangerous criminal act can happen in this earth. Why? All the criminal things happen first in the human heart when they don't have a purpose, and at the same time it kind of like you devalidate this human life. One time there was a discussion with this NASA scientist, and in that discussion the the reporter asked why this NASA, like these companies, put billion monies to find the earth, the life in this universe. Because we have the life here. So what is the result you get out of this? Because you didn't find anything. There's nothing you find. Then the scientist told this. Remember, how much money we put to this all the research. And we came with the one solution. That one solution is, and so far in this universe we didn't find any human life. That is mean this human life in this earth is so precious, so valuable, so important. So then remember yourself, the life that you have today is so valuable, so important. It's precious. It's blessed. So then yourself, you have to bring that value to yourself and bring that value out of your action, bodily, verbally and mentally action. Make a valuable life yourself and make a valuable world around you. So today with this sermon, that listening to this sermon, you all acquired a lot of merits by the power of this all meritorious activities, and personally in our life that whatever the meritorious activities we have done and the merits we acquire, first we transfer to our Nayak Hamduru to have a good health and longevity, and may he able to gain these merits and find the happiness in this very lifetime and find the happiness find the liberation in this very lifetime, and also Dhamma Hamduru and Sabdansari Hamduru and all other residents monks, and they giving all their life to this place and try to uplift these people's spiritual life, and they give their service to yourself as a gift in this life. It is very rare that you can get, so we transfer this all the merits to that venerable monks. May they be able to gain the merits and find the happiness in this very lifetime and the liberation in this samsaric journey. And also by the power of this all meritorious activities, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. And finally, may you attain supreme bliss of happiness in this very lifetime and end of this samsaric journey. May all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Please say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Akasatta chaturmatta devanada mahindika punyam kanmanoditva chiram rakkantu sasana. Akasatta chaturmatta devanada mahindika punyam kanmanoditva chiram rakkantu desana.